Thomas is wearing an Evil Dead shirt right now.
That I am. Yeah.
Groovy.
Very groovy.
Is that an Evil Dead 1 shirt?
Yeah, I think it's for the marketing material for Evil Dead 1. Even though this lady is never in the movie. In any of them. She kind of looks like the one from Army of Darkness, but it's not her.
She's just a random lady. We need to find out who that lady is.
Maybe she's... Because the original Evil Dead, they had, like, a shit ton of women actors. Beyond just, like, the ones that we see. Because, like, the Deadites, they'll, like... They shot some of those scenes later and couldn't get some of the actors to return. A lot of them weren't super crazy about shooting in that cabin.
Because it was creepy?
It was creepy. It was messy. There was a lot of
Sam Raimi was just like,
I need you to cover yourself in dirt and blood.
And those contact lenses were like thick, and they made whoever wore blind. Yeah. And apparently they hurt. So
probably they made the movie for like $2. So
yeah, it's a very cheap movie.
They're all pretty cheap. Actually, I don't know about Army of Darkness.
I think Army of Darkness has the highest budget, but it's still... It has that cheap look to it still.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Evil Dead 2 was like $3 million or something like that.
It's a big increase compared to what the first one was. I don't know what the... Let me see if I can find Evil Dead budgets.
Evil Dead 2 was 3.5.
Okay. According to the base Google search, it was $350,000 for the first one.
Okay.
And then $11 million for Army of Darkness.
Why are you whispering?
Was I whispering?
You kind of like...
That's just like my...
like, what are you doing?
My comfortable level of voice just goes down. So that was probably what that was. My bad if you couldn't make that out on the mic. Army of Darkness was $11 million. And Evil Dead 2 was 3.5.
How much was the remake?
Oh god, let me see. Remake 17.
And it was still shit.
Yeah, I only saw it the once.
Yeah, I only saw it once.
Ago.
Maybe if I watched it again, I might think it's okay, but...
Yeah, my biggest problem with it is it tried to take Evil Dead and make it into a more, like, serious toned film.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I guess I can agree that the first movie, like, the first Evil Dead is the most, like, tonally, like, dark, I guess, or tonally serious.
You can tell
but there are still a lot of Raimi-isms in it.
You can tell that they were trying to make a more, like, serious horror film, but the budget and the corniness and the acting and the camera work all makes it very funny. Like, there are several scenes in the movie where, like, Bruce Campbell will get, like, stuck under, like, some shelf that looks like it weighs nothing at all.
They just keep throwing shelves at him in the first movie. That's, like, all that happened. I forgot about that. Rewatching it, I'm just like, that's a lot of shelves. Anyway, we're talking about the Evil Dead trilogy today. All directed by Sam Raimi, all starring Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams.
Mm-hmm.
But first, we're going to talk about our weeks.
Yeah.
It's my last week of work until I have a week off before like the school year starts. So next week, I'm just going to chill. I have a couple trainings, but mostly just chill. I watched a bit of Umbrella Academy Season 2. Oh. Not good.
Yeah. See, I keep hearing people say that, and it's like, oh man, that's sad.
I didn't really think the first season was good either, though.
Yeah, I hear that the comics are better.
Probably.
Which I'm hoping, because I love Gerard Way. I'm a big MCR stan, so.
Yeah, I'll probably pick up a comic or two next time I'm around.
Yeah.
I like some Dark Horse comics, so we'll see. But they're making a board game now. I saw it on Kickstarter
for
Umbrella Academy.
Okay.
So I'm randomly looking at all the tabletop stuff on Kickstarter all the time. Even though I don't think kickstarting things is smart most of the time. But speaking of Kickstarter stuff, the failed Kickstarter of Evil Dead 2 turned into Evil Dead 2 by Jasco Games, and Thomas had me pick it up for him the other day.
Yeah.
So eventually we'll probably do a video on that.
Yeah. Once we figure out like a good like camera setup for like recording board games and
Just
stuff.
have Pierre like standing over us, like breathing really heavily.
Yeah.
While also playing it because it's a minimum 3-player game.
Yeah, I figured it would be like us all on like one half of the table, get some a couple tripods with a couple different angles, and then get like a fucking microphone stand with a camera to it to get like the overtop or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
We'll
get there.
Did I do it? Oh, me and Pierre started watching Power Rangers RPM.
Oh yeah. Oh, what is?
It's pretty sick. It's based in a post-apocalyptic world where a computer virus has like infected almost all of the world. So like the only humans that are alive are in this domed city.
Okay. Like Biodome, starring
Like Attack on Titan.
Holy shit, that's in that movie.
But it's actually pretty dope. I like Power Rangers. I like the goofiness. I like the cheesiness. I like the over the topness. So I like this one so far. I think we've watched like a third of it, and I didn't realize this, but the newest Power Rangers, I think it's called Beast Morphers, is actually a direct sequel to RPM, which came out like 11 years ago.
So you'll be right caught up.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, cool. That's neat. Oh. Have I done anything else? I just finished watching a documentary by. Have you heard of Defunct Land?
Yeah, they're the people who do like that Jim Henson documentary, right?
They've done like Defunct TV. They've done a bunch of stuff on Jim Henson. It's just a YouTube channel run by this guy named Kevin Perjurer or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen some of their stuff.
That documentary I was just watching is like a full-length film that's produced by him.
Okay.
Directed by a guy named Matthew Serrano, I believe. But it was really good. It was about this band that was formed by like Disney Records to play in Disneyland in like the 80s that was supposed to emulate like Kiss and like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was really good. I think those videos are like really high quality for YouTube videos like in general. So seeing a full length film was like, yeah, this feels like a film.
Yeah.
Have I watched anything else? I feel like I watched something. What was it? Oh, I watched But I'm a Cheerleader finally.
Oh yeah?
Have you heard of that film?
No.
It's heralded as a classic in the LGBT community. It's with fucking Natasha Lyonne. It's directed by this woman named Jamie Babbitt from 99. It's like a comedy drama thing, mostly a comedy, about this girl who gets sent to a conversion camp.
Okay.
So it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
I saw it on like my Letterbox feed, so I recognize the poster at least.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with that. I also watched the new Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie, Project Power. You heard of that one?
No, I haven't. I've been
It's a Netflix original.
Okay. I've had my finger off the cinema pulse for a little bit, seeing how I'm like, well, unless they do like straight to digital, I'm probably not going to watch most of these anytime soon.
This is straight to digital. You can watch it.
I could.
It's bad. Very bad.
Okay.
It's about this drug that you take it. It's a pill, and it gives you superpowers for 5 minutes.
Oh, I've seen that concept going around.
It was fucking stupid. It was really bad. The Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it weren't bad though. They were pretty decent.
Okay.
But overall, it was kind of just a boring movie with like 10, 15 minutes of like fun, cool, or goofy shit happening.
Yeah.
But most of it was just like, this is not great.
I think I saw this morning, but isn't Bill and Ted getting a digital release?
Yeah, that was announced a while ago, but they finally announced pricing. It's, I think, $25, which is the current standard. It's between $20 and $25. I don't know if that might be rental. Just because, it's like, oh, we got it digitally released. But it's like, cool. I still need to watch the second one. I know we keep talking about that, but I'll probably just do it right before it comes out.
Yeah.
It's what I did with Blade Runner when 2049 was coming out. Literally 2 hours before I went to the theater, I'm just like, I buy this on YouTube and I watch it. And that's mostly it. just been cruising. Been playing a lot of board games. My jam. You know. And yeah, it was just kind of a busy work week.
I feel.
What about you? Just playing Fall Guys all day?
I haven't played too much Fall Guys. I've only played like maybe a couple hours throughout the week, just here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick up a round, I'll get tilted, and I'll put it down. Let's see. This week I watched a terrible trilogy. I'm going to be doing...
Evil Dead?
No, that's the good trilogy I watched this week. I watched All Hallows Eve 1 and 2, and then I watched Terrifier. And I'm going to be doing a review for All Hallows Eve and Terrifier that I'm going to be recording today. I'm not going to do All Hallows Eve 2 because I didn't write a script for it, and I was looking last night. There's anywhere from like one more All Hallows Eve film that I didn't know about to like potentially 3. And that they're not done by like Damien Leone or however you pronounce his name. And neither is the second one. But,
yeah, he produced it though.
One of them, the third one, it's called like 3 All Hallows Eve, and it's got like a different title on most sites. It's like The Dead. I don't know. Let me.
The Dead Don't Die.
3 All Hallows Eve, and let's see, what was that fucking called? What's the subtitle to that? Voices from the Grave. And it came out like the following year or like 2 years after All Hallows Eve 2. And it's also an anthology horror film that's like just 3 All Hallows Eve. And it's like, I don't know how many, there's a couple more anthology All Hallows Eve movies that came out like the subsequent years. And it's like, I don't know if these are related or if they're just like using the generic title of All Hallows Eve. So yeah, I don't know. So I'm scrapping the 2 review because it's just got so many shorts in it. And it's like,
I do think that was the best out of the 3, personally. Because there were shorts in there I did enjoy, and then they were all very short that I was like, phew. I don't know what you thought of it. I didn't think it was good, but...
I thought it was about the quality of the first one, but I think despite how much like I don't think the movies are good, I think the actor who plays Art the Clown is pretty animated and fun to watch.
We're going to get him on the podcast.
I don't know about that. Maybe, if he's open.
He'll be dressed as the clown, too.
I don't know if he can talk in the clown outfit. I saw like an interview where he was like in the get-up, but he wasn't talking. It was all the director who was talking. So I don't know if he can actually...
Maybe he just can't talk in general.
No, I watched another interview where he did talk, and apparently he like toured around on like this Grinch musical for a while, where he worked with and greatly admired the actor who plays Robbie Rotten, who is like a huge inspiration for him. So I thought that was a pretty fun fact. But yeah, so I watched those. I watched the Night of the Living Dead remake.
Why? Oh yeah, your horror thing. Was it bad?
No, I watched the good remake.
Oh, I was saying in 3D.
No, that's the bad remake.
Okay.
The one with Sid Haig is the really, really bad one.
Gotcha.
No, this one's got Tony Todd in it. It's directed by Tom Savini.
Oh yeah,
and they
talked about this.
Beef up Barbara's role and make her an actual fucking character. It's really good. In fact, I think you'd probably like it more than the original.
Knowing what I thought of the original, probably, yeah.
But I like the original more just because I, grew up with that one and stuff. But the remake in a lot of aspects is better. I will admit. But yeah, so I watched that, and I started watching Clone Wars again. Yeah, I'm on like episode 15 or something. I just started watching the first season over again. I was just like, fuck it.
I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I like it. Well, I've tried to watch chronological. I like it kind of jumping around in the timeline of like the Clone Wars, because it all makes it kind of blend together. It's like war is this endless thing, but
yeah, and even if I were to go chronological order, they still like skip over stuff.
Yeah.
So I would still kind of have that feeling where it's like, I'm not getting all the information, so who gives a shit if it's a little scrambled here and there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm getting through with that. And one of my biggest critiques of the show just finally, like, leveled out. I assumed it was going to, but it was getting to the point where, like, the Republic was getting a little too... We're winning all the time. And I was like, come on, you gotta give some leverage to the other side here. And they finally started doing that. So that was nice. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. Probably going to slowly work my way through that. Hopefully get caught up. And then I want to play Fallen Order. Then I'm going to watch the original trilogy. Then I'm finally going to finish the sequel trilogy.
When are you going to watch Rebels?
I'll probably check out Rebels. I don't know. I've heard mixed things about Rebels, but I've seen like some clips from it.
Is so good. I like Rebels more than Clone Wars. I think that the final season of Clone Wars is like, if you took the final 4 episodes of Clone Wars, or like the final arc that they just did recently, it might be just like, in general, my favorite thing from Star Wars. I loved it. But Rebels in general, I think it's more consistently good than Clone Wars.
Okay.
Like, I can't remember any Rebels episodes I disliked. And there were episodes of Clone Wars, but I didn't necessarily dislike, but I'm like, this is middling. But I also love Kanan Jarrus, who's voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr. in Rebels.
Oh, okay.
I think he's a great character. I love the characters in Rebels. There's some really cool stuff in there.
I'll check it out. That takes place, like, I assume, right before episode 4-ish.
I want to say it's like 2 years before, or it's a couple of years before.
I saw,
or maybe it's, I can't remember off the top of my head now. No, maybe it's 8 years. I don't remember.
Yeah, I've seen the clip where it's like Ahsoka confronting Darth Vader, and
that fight is so good.
Yeah, no, I intentionally like turn it off when she like falls over the railing, because I'm like, all right, I don't want to see how this ends. I want to save that for when I actually get to this point. But it seems pretty cool. The whole like. Anakin Skywalker is dead. I killed him. Then I will avenge him. And then just like straight up fucking lightsaber duel.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some really sick fights in both Clone Wars and Rebels. And then the last season of Clone Wars, pretty much all the fight scenes, because what they do is I don't think this is really a spoiler. There was this arc they were supposed to do in the final season of Clone Wars before it got canned, called like the Mandalore arc, or the Siege of Mandalore, and they do that.
I still have to watch that too.
They do that, and fucking Darth Maul comes back, and so they actually had Ray Park come in, even though Sam Witwer's the voice, but they had Ray Park do all the fights with a fucking
motion capture.
With motion capture, and then. But I believe that it's still hand animated, but they hand animated it with like keynotes from it. But it's really cool.
Yeah.
So I was watching a bunch of behind the scenes of that. It was sick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love Star Wars. Even if I hated the final movie. Yeah. That's okay.
I'm enjoying Clone Wars thus far.
Season 1 is the weakest.
Yeah, I kind of assumed.
I think that season 2, like I like season 1 and I like season 2, but those are pretty known as like the weakest.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm loving Jar Jar in the series.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but I actually like Jar Jar.
I'm enjoying it. Like I think his character in live action is a little jarring, but when it's like a cartoon, but when it's like a cartoon, his cartoony antics are just like pretty.
Was there the episode where they thought he was a Jedi?
Yeah, Bombad Jedi.
I love that episode.
That was a great fucking episode.
That episode's really funny.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me, the setting at least, kind of reminded me of Bleach when they're like going to rescue Rukia from the tower. This is like, God, the second they're like, she's escaped, and Jar Jar's just over the side, she escaped? And then they're all like, it's the Jedi. And he's like, oh shit. It's just great comedy.
Oh. Yeah. I'm excited to hear more of your thoughts as you continue on. I'll probably, especially, honestly, I might, I kind of want to do a Clone Wars episode where we take a look at a couple different arcs that I really like.
Okay.
Because there's a couple arcs, it's pretty later on, but I'm excited for you to watch some of them. I just really like Clone Wars for how much character they give the clones.
Yeah, no. I really like the. I can't.
Is it Rex?
Yeah, Rex.
Rex is. I honestly think he's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. He's in my top 10 easily.
Yeah, no, I really like him thus far. When he was the one who volunteered to stay behind and keep an eye on Anakin while he after the explosion thing, and they end up on the monkey planet. I can't remember the name of the race.
Good old monkey planet.
Yeah, the little roller monkeys.
Yeah. Fuck. I gotta just rewatch all of Clone Wars eventually.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it thus far.
Probably after Power Rangers.
But yeah, that's pretty much been my week. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I watched a bunch of David Lynch shorts.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I don't think you mentioned it, but I saw it.
Some of them are pretty all right. Some of them are pretty just oh, this is just 2 minutes of this.
Yeah.
There's one that he has that's dead mouse with ants, and it's just a dead mouse with a bunch of ants crawling on it for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it is.
Thanks,
and it's just
Mr. Lynch.
Wow, I'm glad I had to sit through that one. Also, funny story, I forgot I wrote this review. Apparently it's one of the top reviews on the page, but I just got a notification and someone's what the a what the fuck kind of response, and I was what is it this time? And I look, and apparently one of the top reviews for Shrek the Musical is, I completely forgot I had written this review. Oh, let me scroll down to it again. Verbatim.
This is great.
It is okay. Not as good as a Serbian film, though. And people in the comments are good point. That's a good statement. I saw a professional production of this near where I live, so this will always have a special place in my heart, but I admit it's kind of bad. I don't know what that has to do with the Serbian film. My favorite one is the one from Xander F, and he goes, "This is cursed as fuck." I was just as shocked as everyone in the comments section there. I had completely forgotten I had written that, and I was even more shocked that it had become a top review.
Oh. Good times.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Time for some questions from
Pierre.
Boyle. Number 1. Would you rather lose the ability to taste or smell?
Probably smell. Is that a bomb dropping?
Yeah. So time to die. Probably me too, I guess. I like tasting things. Were you about to die?
I don't know. There's a long whistle going on outside.
Anyway, number 2. What do you think of the show Johnny Test? Is it time for a live-action reboot?
Yes, but only
if you can play Bling Bling Boy.
No, I don't want to play Bling Bling Boy.
If you can play the dog.
I'd play the dog.
The turbocharged
I was going to say, the only way I want that is I want them to have Guy Fieri as Johnny Test, but they got to do the George Lopez effect where he's just got a really big head on a really little body.
And Guy Fieri also is Bling Bling Boy.
He should just play everybody.
He should. There we go. Only Johnny Test live action reboot. Guy Fieri's everyone.
There we go.
Quick. Spider-Man is about to eat a moldy sandwich. How do you stop them? They are extremely hungry?
I'd probably go, mold! And that might stop him. If Peter Parker is as smart as I think he is, he might connect the dots there.
So the thing is, if he was about to eat a moldy sandwich, if it was enough mold to be dangerous, his spidey sense would just go off, right?
Yeah.
So if it's not enough mold to be dangerous, then it's fine.
Yeah,
whatever. Might taste a little bad, but it's fine.
Just some penicillin, might make him feel
I
better.
just let him eat a sandwich. Also, why would I even be near him? Because if he's eating, that means he has at least part of his mask off.
He's
Unless he made a new mask,
What if he just like came down like he does in the first movie and like lowers his mask and he's like, "Hey, can you pass me that sandwich and just stick it in my mouth?"
I thought you were gonna say, and then he kisses me.
After he eats the sandwich.
Tobey Maguire kisses me on the mouth. Anyway, yeah, those are our quick little questions today.
All right.
Now it's time for the meat, the groovy meat.
The Evil Dead Trill. Oh, gee.
So I started watching. Me and Hinatea watched the Evil Dead one a couple years ago together.
Mm-hmm.
She thought it was all right. I really liked it. Spoiler.
My mom fucking hates all three of them.
But we watched the Evil Dead 2 yesterday, and she liked that one quite a lot. But the first thing she said was, "Wow, that guy's ugly," in reference to Bruce Campbell. And I stopped the movie and I said, "The fuck is wrong with you?"
He's not as pretty as he is later in life in the first movie. I will.
Oh no, we're talking about Evil Dead 2.
Oh, Evil Dead. No, he had ascended to Bruce Campbell's status by that point.
Evil Dead 2 in Army of Darkness, he's like, ooh, sexy, especially when he has no arm.
Yeah.
Spoiler, but we're talking about Evil Dead, so you should know that. Yeah. So I mean, it's weird because Evil Dead 2 is partially like a remake.
Every
first like
film,
10, it's like the first moments of it are like a remake, like a retelling of like the previous
the
film.
First 15 minutes or so, they just like cut out all the friends and just basically abridge it. They basically do like a little mini remake that gets quicker with each sequel. Because Army of Darkness does the same thing. There's like a different woman who plays his girlfriend in the beginning.
Yeah.
She like works with him at S-Mart. But yeah, so the first film where it all began. Well, technically,
I mean, Within the Woods.
Yeah,
is where
Within the Woods is where
I tried to start watching that today, and I'm like,
so low quality. Like,
yeah, I'm like,
I tried watching it a few years ago, and it's hard to get through.
I'm like, why hasn't he like touched it up? You know, he could.
He could. I don't know. I mean,
but I will eventually watch it. I just like right after Army of Darkness, and I was watching like the remaster, of course. That movie looks really nice.
I watched DVD copies for all three of them because that's just what I had.
Oh, okay. But they all looked really nice, and then right after Army of Darkness, I was like, oh, even on my phone, so it was like really small. I'm like, oh, I can't even tell what's happening.
Yeah.
What? Nice. So Evil Dead, one of the first cabin movies.
Is it?
I mean, it's one of the big cabin horror movies to popularize the genre.
Yeah. Okay.
The first big cabin movies. The Evil Dead. Then it's Evil Dead 2. Yeah. And then it's Evil Dead Harder.
Yeah. So basically, they had made Within the Woods to fund this movie, and they just Sam Raimi, Rob Tappert, I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
I think it's Tappert.
Rob Tappert and like Bruce Campbell and like the rest of the
They were all just like buddies.
Yeah.
They're like, let's make a movie.
Because they used to, when they were in high school, they used to make like Three Stooge-esque comedy, and you can see that like throughout all three of them. They have
with the shells.
Sorts of physical gags, especially with Bruce Campbell, because he was the guy who they just used to beat up in their movies all the time. His physical comedy in the second one in particular is some great stuff.
Yeah, that's why it's in my top 50 films. I think that movie's just hilarious.
Oh yeah,
that's one thing that Hinatea said, that she's like, yeah, I really liked it, but I didn't think it was very funny. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it's not for everyone. The only time she laughed was at the very beginning of Evil Dead 2, where he's spinning and going really fast.
Yeah. That part's great. I love that part.
So Evil Dead 1 is about a man named Ash Williams.
Yeah. Ash Williams, Scotty, Linda, Cheryl.
Who is his sister.
Cheryl's his sister.
You don't really convey that very well most of the time.
Yeah.
There's one other girl, right?
Yeah.
Linda, Cheryl.
Shelly, yes.
Yeah. Scotty, yeah. So the five of them.
Yeah. So basically, they go up to spend the weekend at this cabin that's, I think, Scotty had rented.
Yeah.
And while they're there, there's some creepy stuff going on. There's like a scene where Cheryl like kind of like unwillingly, like her hand gets possessed and she ends up drawing like this really shitty picture of the Necronomicon.
And she just doesn't say anything.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, whatever.
I do that all the time.
I mean, to be fair, people probably would think she's crazy, especially given the reaction she gets later after the forest scene.
Ugh.
Yes, the notorious forest scene. Which, I don't hate the concept of the scene, but I think the execution.
I just think it's so tonally inconsistent with the rest of the film. Like, it doesn't...
Like,
it's not... It's just, like, kind of gross.
Like, I like the concept of the woods, like, coming to life and attacking something.
Yeah, which they did in the second one.
Yeah, which they do
I think perfectly. I think it's really fun to watch.
And I don't even think the idea of, like, the, like, fucking forestry, like... Okay, so to those who don't know, the forest rapes Shelley's character in the woods. Like, there's a big scene where they, like...
Cheryl's.
Or Cheryl's, yes. They, like, pull her legs apart and a big, like, branch goes in between her legs and
then she breaks away and runs it. And I'm like, that's all that happens. And I'm like, so the main thing here is it needs to be an inciting, like, incident to make her really scared, run in, like, make people think she's going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why did that need to happen?
Yeah.
Like, it could have just been scary tree. Like, why is this with the...
Like, I like the idea...
And Sam Raimi himself has said, like, I don't know why I did that.
I just wanted to create, like, a shocking scene, probably. He says he regrets it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I can see
when
why.
you're young, you do stupid things. And that's probably... That's my big complaint with this movie.
Yeah, I think he put a little too much emphasis on it. And I think... If I remember correctly. Like I said, it's been like 10 years since I've seen it, but I think the remake tried to make that scene grosser, if I remember.
No, well, from what I remember, they have a scene similar. I'm like, well, just take it out, you fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But they tone it down.
Okay.
At least.
I just remember, like, slimy, like, things wrapped around her, like, thigh.
Maybe it's that, but I don't think it actually...
I don't think they show, like, the impact shot like they do in the original.
It's just like, and I think that's the big first, like, scare, or, like, the attack. That's the big first attack. And I'm like, that's such a weird... I think it really sours the taste of the film, and it takes a second, like, a couple scenes to get back in the groove of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but basically, well, before that happens, basically... They're all, like, sitting down at dinner. Bruce tries to say some Greek phrase that he slaughters. And then so in the cabin, there's, like, this little cellar door that opens up while they're all at dinner. And then Scotty ends up going down and checking it out. And Scotty's a real playful spirit, kind of a dick.
He's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, no, he is a major fucking asshole throughout the movie. And he ends up going downstairs and, like, being quiet, which causes Ash to have to, like, kind of follow after him. And yeah, they end up, like, finding the Necronomicon down there, which is a book, bound in human flesh and inked in the ocean of blood. So they find that in a tape recorder, and they bring it up. Scotty points a fucking gun at Bruce's face. And here, fun fact, I don't know if you caught this, but they have a ripped Hills Have Eyes poster.
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, so basically...
Because the hills in this don't have eyes.
Yes. Well, in the Hills Have Eyes, they have a poster of Jaws, and... Wes Craven was like, yeah, that was kind of like just to be like, oh, you think Jaws is scary? This situation is way scarier. So they kind of did that in this movie.
It's like, and then, there's 2 men in this cabin.
Yeah, and then for a little while, they had like a back and forth, Wes Craven and Sam Raimi with like their Evil Dead films. Like they end up, I want to say there's an Evil Dead poster in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, if I remember correctly. I think it might be in Johnny Depp's room.
I don't know why, but when I think about this film, I think of it as like way newer than a lot of like Wes Craven's films. I don't know why, but in my head, they don't seem like the same generation to me.
Wes Craven got like, I think The Hills Have Eyes was his first movie, if I'm not mistaken, and that was like 79, and this was shot around that time.
Maybe it's just because like Sam Raimi, I don't know. Maybe it's because my first introduction to Sam Raimi was Spider-Man, which was when I was like growing up, and I because of like that's my first introduction. Sometimes in my brain, like when I'm not really thinking, I'm like that's his first movie, you know?
Yeah,
just because like that's how my brain works. So then I'm like, yeah, Evil Dead was after that. Even though if I think about it for more than 1 second, I'm like, that's obviously not true. Mm-hmm. Bruce Campbell didn't age backwards.
Exactly.
Yet.
So far. But yeah, and then in Evil Dead 2, when he enters the tool shed, there's a little Freddy's glove like up above the door.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a little like fun piece of trivia about that. But yeah, so Scotty brings up the tape recorder, they play it, and it's from Professor Noby. He reads some passages from the Book of the Dead, and Cheryl
turns it off. And she's like, please stop it.
And he's like, no.
And if they had just listened to her, nothing would have happened.
Yeah, but instead Scotty, being the asshole he is, awakens the fucking forest and the Kandarian evil within it. And yeah, basically, I hate that at the end of the scene, because like they're listening to the tape recorder and she goes like, turn it off! I can't scream that high, but turn it off! And then like the fucking like tree busts through the fucking window. Apparently, I mean, this pretty obvious since it's a low budget film, but they would just be like, all right, everybody stand back, we're gonna break the window. Like, real budget irresponsible filmmaking like that, which I was watching the commentary with Tappert and Raimi, and they were like, yeah, that was really irresponsible.
What, just breaking the window with people?
Yeah, everybody stand back, cover your eyes, window about to break. But
you know, you do what you can.
Yeah. Thankfully no one got hurt.
Yeah, thankfully. Because if they had, that'd be like a lot. There's a chance if somebody had gotten hurt, like on the set, we wouldn't have ever gotten like even the movie, you know, because so many things are shut down because of that.
Yeah. This film came out at a weird point in time. It got an X rating. It was declared a video nasty. Yeah. Yeah. There was like a whole like court case about it.
That's what's so crazy about it, like doing so well, you know?
Yeah.
Because like video nasties, when they came out, there were some people that were like, but it did like detract a lot of people from watching them. Like it ruined a lot of people's careers in a sense because it like just nobody saw it. So it's surprising that the Evil Dead did so well.
Yeah, it did really well in the video store market. That's when it kind of got its cult following.
Bruce Campbell's sexy.
Yes, and then
he's a bit too skinny in this. He's really skinny in like all three, but he's like kind of looks like one of the Undead Army in the third movie in this movie.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a skeleton.
But yeah, so the whole basically like after that scene, Scotty tries to blame Ash. He's like, hey, you're just as responsible for this as I am. You could have turned the tape off.
And then Cheryl goes out to the woods. That happens.
And then she comes back and basically she makes a big scene and then asks Ash to take her home. And I hate Ash's attitude in this scene. He's like, are you fucking kidding? Really, Cheryl?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're so... Regardless if you believe...
I actually really like a lot of Ash's characterization in this movie because he's like a massive coward.
Yes.
And like, I really like that.
Apparently that was like behind the scenes. According to Rob and Sam, he did not want to make this horror movie. He's like, I don't want to hack the girls to pieces. I want to make a sappy love movie like that one scene earlier with my eyes closed.
That's kind of sweet.
Apparently one time like they found him like literally crying because he was like, oh God. But
it's weird because like he plays like a misogynistic womanizer in so many things. But I feel like Bruce Campbell himself is probably
not
like this.
Yeah, no, they really
because it's these three movies. You know, this one not as much, and even I mean, I don't actually think it's that much in this trilogy, but like, have you seen Ash versus the Evil Dead?
Mm-hmm.
He's very.
I haven't seen the third season.
Me neither.
I've seen
the first two, but he's like mega womanizer.
Yeah, and they add a little bit of racism in there too.
Yeah,
like,
it's just I'm like, wow. I like the show though.
I think it suits the character, to be honest. But yeah,
I like the show. I thought the show was pretty good.
I love the show.
I need to watch season 3 still.
It's been so do I, and it's been a while since I've seen it. But I might go as far to say I have more of an attachment to these movies. But that might be like I might like the show more.
Wow,
in a certain sense, just because it's like.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch the show now that I've gotten...
Because there are aspects about it.
And now that I've seen Army of Darkness. Because occasionally they would, make allusions to that, and I'm like, uh-huh.
And I could see Ash's characterization being a little bit jarring, because he gets a little bit goofier with every interpretation.
Yeah, and I didn't mind the goofiness. I'm just like, why is he gotta be racist?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And it's not too bad, and it gets better as the series goes on.
It's very
he has his own
it's very self-aware. It's not like he's just like constantly just like being racist the whole show. It's
he's just like, I hate black people.
Yeah, I think it's mostly Mexicans he makes comments about, if I remember correctly. I think he makes a couple Asian jokes, but yeah.
Just like you do every day, right before the podcast.
What can I say?
You say, hey, I learned a new really racist joke. You want to hear it? Okay, so the rest of the movie, because we've been rambling about this movie for a while.
Yeah.
Rest of the movie is just people slowly getting... Oh, they go to the bridge, it's out, and then they're stuck. And then the rest of the movie, people slowly get infected and
possessed.
Die.
First it's Cheryl, and then it's... Shelly?
Cheryl's the one that they lock in the basement, right?
Yeah, Cheryl.
And then Shelly, and then they Scotty just fucking annihilates her, right?
Yeah, he's just like, like it takes like 1 second for him to be like, all right, this isn't my girlfriend anymore. I'm perfectly okay with cutting her up with an axe.
Yeah, and like Bruce has the axe, and he's like, oh, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And Scotty's just like, ah.
Yeah, and then he's like, then they talk, they're like, we need to get out of here, we need to find a path. And Ash is like, what about my girlfriend, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head? It's Cheryl, Shelley, and...
Laura? No. Linda,
yeah. He's like, what about Linda? And he's like, I don't give a shit about Linda. She's your girlfriend. You take care of her. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then he goes and he rightfully gets fucking pwned by the woods.
Like instantly. It doesn't even show anything. He like runs out and then he goes, and he's like,
we're gonna die, Ash. Oh, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And like Shelly's in the fucking cellar mocking him. But yeah, so basically...
Man, that cellar is fucking creepy, though. Like, they're like, despite, even in the second one, despite how goofy it gets, that cellar, regardless, is still fucking creepy.
Yeah, like...
I do think they did the cellar stuff in the remake pretty well, I guess, as well. I don't think they did it as much, but...
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the innate fear of cellars.
Yeah. The one thing about the remake, getting into the remake a little bit, I don't like... The one character I liked in that movie, they fucking like kill the shit out of.
I don't remember it, but let's not talk spoilers for a movie we're not covering.
Well,
but they killed
I didn't
somebody
specify.
That's really cool. I feel like I need to rewatch. I might rewatch it today.
But fuck.
So then Scotty dies.
Yeah, Ash, last man standing, the most cowardly of them all, and he's
Linda becomes evil.
Yeah, she becomes a deadite. So
fucking
yeah. At first he's like, I'm just gonna drag you outside and just kind of leave you there
because she's just kind of taunting him. He's like, I'll just leave you outside. You're not.
This one's probably not homicidal like the last two have been. And then he like quickly forgets about her. There's this nice little sequence I like. I like whenever they do the mirror sequences in this movies.
Yeah,
all three of them are different.
They're so good.
Yeah, in the first one, it's just a simple, like, he goes up to the mirror and he touches it, and it's, like, water. And he's like, oh! It spooks him, and then his girlfriend is right behind him, and she does stab him, right? I can't remember if she lands it, but I think she like, gets him in the arm or something.
Yeah, so, it's, like, more of a slash than a stab, but
and he kind of he's like, and wrestles with her a little bit, finally gets her outside, and
she tries to jump on him, and he fucking
decapitates her with a shovel.
Yep.
And then he gives her a necklace in the beginning of the movie. It's going to become very important.
In the second movie.
Also, this movie, it plays into the climax.
But mostly the second one.
Yeah, as well as the second movie. But let me readjust myself here and get the squeaks out while I can.
Squeaky, squeaky.
But yeah, so he basically goes inside. Scotty's dead. Cheryl has busted the cellar.
That's right.
And yeah, so he basically like runs around trying to find Cheryl for a little bit. He shoots her in the face once or twice, and then eventually like Scotty wakes. He like kind of travels around the place. There's like a light bulb that blows up with blood, and he eventually Scotty wakes up, tries to kill him. He like pulls like a stick out of him, and he just starts bleeding just profusely. And then Cheryl comes in with a fire poker and starts just fucking whopping on him. And then
and then he uses the necklace as
yes.
kind of like a lasso or something to get the Necronomicon.
And I fucking both love and hate this scene because he's like tossing it, and it's so clear that this necklace would never like actually fucking hook onto this book, like just the way it's shaped. Yeah. And then they like cut away, and just magically it's like you can see that it's like fucking like
it's like really tangled in there. Like
yeah. And it's just like, okay, sure.
He did it.
Yeah. Because like every time they show him trying to land it, it shows like what would really happen. It's just like, oh, and it's like it just like skirts across whatever corner he tries to hook it on. But yeah, he grabs the book and then he just like tosses it into the fire. And
then they start to fucking melt away. Right?
Nice stop motion sequence.
The stop motion in all three of these is so good.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, it's so like they're like really good in my opinion, but they're also just so creative and fun.
I really like the sequence from the second one. But
the dancing one, that fucking yeah. And there's some really good stuff in Army of Darkness as well.
Yes. So, yeah, he burns the book. They melt, and then some giant hands pop out of him. And he goes outside now that it's dawn, and he's like, "Oh, I've survived." And then
the camera, which
does the like iconic like point of view from evil in the woods.
Evil, which they do in all three, and I do really, really like that. Yeah, it makes it feel like a present character as much as everyone else.
And yeah, so then that's how that one ends with him just going, ah! And you can assume the second one picks up where he starts spinning. But so some things about this one that I just want to mention. Because I watched the original altered version. Yeah. And there's just some funny stuff in there. Like whenever they show the moon, you can see like the box around it. Like it's so fucking clear. And when he shoots Shelly in the face, she's got like this wire that you can clearly see, or this tube that's like just spouting out the blood. And it's stuff like that I enjoy about this movie. You know, and you get a sense of how it was made.
Obviously, I watched on Netflix.
Yeah, where they altered all that out. I'm not mad that an altered version exists. I just wish that they would also offer the original one still. Yeah. But unless you have the old DVDs, that version is no more. And then they also don't, unlike the modern Blu-rays, sell the award-winning Bruce Campbell commentary that he does by himself for the movie. It's the greatest commentary track ever recorded. I love it.
I need to listen to that. I'm sure is it on YouTube or anything?
I don't know if it's on YouTube. I have the DVD, so but it's great. I love it. And I wish he would have recorded a solo commentary for all three of them, but it's only the first one it exists for, and you can't even buy it on the Blu-rays. But yeah, it might be on YouTube, hopefully. I don't know if anyone still has like a license on it. Maybe. But
looks like It is on YouTube.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'll probably have to listen to that.
Yeah, just listen to it like a podcast.
But yeah, this movie, even with the retouches, it still very much feels like a slow budget, but they know what they're like. They know that they roll into that. You know, they don't make it seem more than it is. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which
no,
I think
they don't go too far.
Yeah, a lot of low budget movies try to bite off more than they can shoot, and like try to emulate of high budget film, and then it looks really bad. But because they're like, we're low budget and we're showing it, it looks really, really good.
Yeah, they only remove a couple like minor things. It's nothing. Yeah. It's not like they changed like the stop motion to CG or anything like that quality.
That'd be.
Yeah, they don't go like as far as like George Lucas does with the original trilogy or anything like that.
I do think that the tree scene is just. I think it's bad. I think it was mostly a bad idea, not necessarily like a tree scene, because I love the tree scene in Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, I think it's much better executed in Evil Dead 2.
But overall, I still think this movie's really good.
Yeah, no, I still enjoy it.
But I do think it's the weakest of the trilogy.
Oh, absolutely.
And one of the weaker Sam Raimi films I've seen in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
besides like Oz.
I still haven't seen that one.
It's like fine. It's like a movie. You would have like. It's very hard to. It doesn't feel like a Sam Raimi movie like at all, in my opinion.
Oh god. But yeah. I had something I wanted to say, but it just slipped my mind.
Do you think this is the best Sam Raimi movie?
Oh no,
better than Spider-Man 2.
The main things I enjoy about this movie are probably like its history. Like I think it's got a really interesting history between the filmmaking and just like the post-production and all the shit that happened with like the video nasty shit.
Yeah.
And I also I think I really like Cheryl as a Deadite. She's like, I think she does a pretty good job of being creepy as a Deadite.
I agree. I love the Deadite in the second one of the mother, but which that one comes back in Ash vs. Evil Dead, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Ted Raimi.
Was that Ted Raimi in both?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I thought Ted Raimi was only in fucking the third one in the final sequence when they're at the store.
Oh no, he is he plays a bunch of characters in Army of Darkness. If you like pay attention to the background nights,
is he just all of
he plays?
I assumed like he would. Okay, that makes sense. I love Ted Raimi.
Yeah, there's
you gotta fucking watch Xena Warrior Princess.
I do.
At least some of the episodes he's in. I was reading and I forgot that like Sam Raimi was a producer at least for some of the episodes of that show. But that show's legitimately really good. I think.
I know.
I think it's superior to Hercules in like most ways.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
Let's just watch all 5 or 6 seasons or whatever for the podcast.
If you wanted to go like one season at a time, maybe I'd be down for that. I think two seasons, unless it's like a fucking like Adult Swim, like 11-minute episode show, would be probably a little much. But
what would you give this movie?
Probably a 6.
I'd give it a 7, just because I still enjoy it a lot. And like I said, I really do like Bruce Campbell's like kind of cowardice in this movie. I think that while this feels like an archetype for a lot of cabin movies that would come from it, there's a lot of like subversions instead, because like the main character's just a huge fucking coward. Yeah. And he does like eventually, man up or whatever, or he gets brave for part of it. But like, I like that. There's a scene later on where he's like, I wish they had emulated it in like Evil Dead 2, but he's like shaking so visibly and he's like trying to load his shotgun. It's really good. I think it's my favorite like shot in the movie. He like looks really scared.
My favorite shot in the movie, it's like when he's inside the house. I think he's like leaned against the door trying to block Cheryl from getting in, but he's like, he can't quite tell where she is. And he hears like a banging and it like does that weird kind of like Dutch angle-esque zoom on his face.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that shot, but let me see if I can find it. Oh, no.
I really like the Dutch angles in this movie. Like,
I usually
trilogy,
fucking hate
like,
Dutch angles.
But they're really, I don't know, I don't really mind them in a lot of horror movies if they use it, like,
if it's like a quick, like, kind of thing, I don't mind.
Well, they do it a couple of times in 2, I think.
But if it's like the first Thor movie where it's just like Dutch angles.
I feel like there needs to be a reason for it. Like in Evil Dead 2, a lot of the times he does it, if I remember correctly, it's like after he's kind of going mad. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense, you know, like the world's not completely still right now. It's like a topsy-turvy. Like that makes sense. Like
exactly.
Dutch angles just for no reason. It goes against the visual storytelling. Like visual storytelling needs to match. A Dutch angle, like when someone's going mad, makes complete sense. When it's not doing anything, it's actively going against the narrative of the film.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. Oh god, I thought that was a more iconic shot from this movie, but I guess not.
There are a lot of iconic shots from Evil Dead.
That there are. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Whatever, not that important. So yeah,
Evil Dead 2. So first 10 minutes are the exact same story, pretty much, except
it's just Ash and
Ash and Linda.
Yeah.
And then after that,
different actress for Linda too.
Just Linda's never want to come back, do they?
I guess not.
Sam Raimi. Maybe Sam Raimi's the womanizer. No, he seems like a nice guy.
No, I know that like the original trio of actors like came back for cons and stuff. So
thought you meant the Star Trek villain. Con. I'm like,
oh
what?
No.
What does that mean?
Like conventions.
Yeah,
but yeah, they seem fine with it. I just don't think they wanted to shoot another movie
in the cabin.
Yeah, which is fair. It seemed like a pretty miserable place to shoot.
The rest of Evil Dead 2 is for the first like 30 minutes. It's Ash going insane.
Yeah,
his arm getting infected or his hand getting infected. Him lobbing it off with a chainsaw.
He ends up becoming Deadite briefly.
Yeah, but then the son heals him. And then later he'll do it again, like near the very end of the movie. But he finds the necklace, and that brings him back.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to see more of that in Army of Darkness, too. Like, I thought that... No, like being brought back from Deadite by, like, love or by compassion or something. Like with... What was her name? The lead... romantic lead in Army of Darkness. Whatever her name was... I thought that instead he just fucking yeets her off a building and then she's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see more of that.
What is... Sheila.
Sheila, that's right.
But,
Some of my favorite parts of Evil Dead 2 are these scenes with Ash by himself. I think Bruce Campbell's incredible acting by himself. Like, he's really, really good. That's why I think Evil Dead 2 works so well. Because once they bring in the other characters, it's so good, and it's a different type of good.
But it's a much cornier kind of acting.
Yeah. But Bruce Campbell's legitimately, like, really good. Like, he has the comedy, but there's also some good dramatic, like, facial expressions and delivery he has.
I love the scene when he's like running through the cabin away from the force.
The long take
was just smashing through fucking doors.
It's so good because it's probably the first time they probably could only do one take without because they had a $3 million budget. They could probably put the doors back, but no, Sam Raimi's no, we got one take to do this.
Yeah,
and he's just like smashing through stuff.
Oh, it's great.
It's so good. I think that's my favorite shot in like the whole trilogy.
Yeah, no,
it's really fun. There's some really fun, like good shots in this though as well. Like later on, he goes into the basement and he gets covered in blood. And he there's a shot. He's about to walk up the stairs again, and it's like of his feet, and like there's like a pool of blood, and the lighting is all red from like the stained lights from behind him. And it's really, I really like that shot. Mm-hmm. It instantly imprinted in my mind.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically he goes crazy for a little while, lops off his hand. Yeah, then the iconic...
then there's another mirror moment.
Yeah, there's another mirror moment where he goes up and he's like, everything's fine. And then the mirror talks and is like, everything's not fine. We just hacked up our girlfriend with a chainsaw. Does that seem fine to you? And then he's choking, and then he sees himself choking himself. And then that's when his hand is revealed to be possessed. He's like, no! Oh, yeah. Not my hand!
And then everything in the cabin starts laughing at him.
Yeah.
That deer thing's legitimately terrifying. Yeah, just... I love that scene. I love this movie so much.
Like bobbing in the background. He's just like,
it's just like a horrific, like nightmare Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah, exactly. And then he hears like a noise from outside and shoots immediately. And it turns out, so Dr. Nobi's daughter and
the assistant,
Will Forte looking guy who went on to be on QVC.
And then they show up to find their father or find her father and be like, yeah, we're meeting at the cabin. And they had to have these like hillbilly guides take them there.
Bobby Joe and
John. No,
Cletus.
Cletus
looks like a Cletus.
They show up and they beat the shit out of Bruce and then throw him down in the cellar.
Jake,
maybe.
If that's the right guy. I think that's the right guy. He's old in this picture. Yeah, Jake. And then Ed is the Will Forte looking guy.
Yeah, okay. But they beat him up and they think that they killed, or that Bruce killed, like, her dad. Because they just see a pool of blood and a chainsaw. So they throw him in the cellar.
Yeah.
And then they continue listening to the tape. And
they hear Dr. Nobi basically describes like, oh, you know, the Book of the Dead, I read from it, and Henrietta, my wife, she got possessed. And in the first film, he's like, I had to like find out firsthand that the only way to stop Deadites is to dismember them. But in this version, he's like, I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I buried her. I buried her in the fruit cellar. And then hard cut to Ash, just like, wait, what? And then just fucking Henrietta rises up.
And she's like, someone's in my fruit!
Yeah,
someone's in my fruit cellar.
And that's Ted Raimi.
Yeah, that's Ted Raimi.
Okay, I just see it in the face now.
He's just like, oh, let me out! And he just goes up and starts banging.
And they start trying to let him out, and he's like trying to get the key. But he's like, let me out, let me out!
Yeah, he just keeps hitting the fucking top of the door, which is making it harder for them to unlock. And then they pull him out at the last second by just grabbing his fucking face and pulling him up. And they quickly Henrietta has transformed into her monkey form. That's what I call it, just because it kind of looks like a monkey head and it makes monkey noises.
I love the practical effects in this movie. They're so like goofy and fun and sometimes horrifying. I love, like, this movie's just so much fun to watch. Like, all the things that happen on the screen. Just like, this is amazing.
Oh, yeah. So they pull him up. They end up, like, shutting the cellar door on Henrietta's head, making her pop an eyeball that goes straight into Bobby Joe's mouth. And, yeah, so...
And then the rest of the movie, same thing, pretty much.
Yeah, Will Forte gets fucking possessed, so Ash, like, runs away, and Annie screams, "Get back here, you coward!" And he comes back with an axe and just fucking chops him.
Just completely chops them all up.
Yeah, and I fucking love... Or I don't love, but I kind of love the consistency of, like, the Deaditism, because it's like, Ash came back from being a Deadite, and his girlfriend, Sheila, comes back in the third one, but he's like, no, this guy won't come back. I'm just gonna kill him.
I didn't like this guy in the first. I don't know who this fucking guy is.
Yeah, I met him for like 2 seconds, and he helped me down while the hillbilly punched me in the face, so I'm just gonna cut him up with an axe. So yeah, basically, they chop him up. I think the canon explanation, they don't ever say...
He has more willpower.
No, I think it's because he's like the prophesized one.
Yeah, well, yeah, I get... Yeah, that's fine. I mean, even if it wasn't, I don't really expect him to be like, no, we just gotta hold him until daytime.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's the middle of the night. And
exactly.
he's trying to murder me.
And fucking, what's it called? I also think that's why he gets sucked into the portal at the end, because he's got that bit of evil in him still that ends up getting separated and left behind in Army of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
But spoiler alert for a movie ahead. But yeah, so so basically, Bobby Joe ends up like freaking out and going into the woods after Dr. Nobi contacts them. He
ghost form.
Yeah, ghost form. Like, he, like, breaks into their world. He's like, save my soul and your lives!
He's like, use the pages you brought with you!
They have the answers you seek.
So, and then Bobby Joe runs out, and then there's the new tree scene, which is much better. It's the same, like, wrapping around attack.
The only thing I don't like about this scene is I think it looks kind of dumb when she has, like, the makeup they did with, like, the twigs in her head.
I really like because there's one in her cheek that's, like, pulsating. I don't know. I really like that look, personally, as she's, like, being flown, but I get it.
But, yeah, so, yeah, she dies, and then, Jake is,
she gets literally just smashed against a tree.
Yeah. And then Jake's like, we gotta go look for Bobby Joe.
And he's like, I'm in charge of a gun.
Yeah, he picks up the gun when they aren't looking, and they're like, well, okay, your girlfriend's probably dead, first of all, but logically speaking, even if not, shouldn't we just read these pages that'll fix the situation? These pages are hogwash. That ghost that just I saw with my own eyes didn't know what he was talking about. Tosses the pages into the cellar. God. But yeah, so
he ends up not dying. They go outside, then Ash turns into a deadite.
Yeah.
Then they go inside. She accidentally stabs Jake.
Yeah, thinking it's Ash, and then she ends up like dragging him over by the fruit cellar on accident, and he ends up getting dragged down by Henrietta and killed. Yeah. And then Ash shows up inside. He's about to kill Annie. He like throws her against a wall and knocks her out, but then he sees the necklace beside her,
picks
and
it up, and
he has his emotional touchdown and becomes Ash again. And then she like tries to kill him with an axe. And
he's like, I'm back.
Hey, I'm all right. And then she kind of calms down for a second, and then she just does it again. He's like,
what are you doing?
Like, hey, I'm all right. God damn it. And yeah, so then they're like, we're gonna have to go down to the cellar. So this is the iconic scene where he finally attaches the chainsaw to his nub, and
then he says
saws the fucking shotgun and
does a cool flip, puts it in a holster, and says
groovy.
And I told Tina Tay at the beginning of the movie, I'm like, this has the best line in all of cinema.
In one of the translations for Berserk I read, because Guts gets the like metal hand eventually.
Yeah.
When he finishes making that, the translation I read of it when I was reading through it said groovy, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, I love that. I don't care how accurate that is perfect.
But yeah, he goes in the cellar, he fights Henrietta again.
Mm-hmm. So he ends up fighting Henrietta. She like tosses him against a wall and knocks him out for like a second. And then she goes upstairs and tries to attack Annie, who is her daughter, by the way. I don't know if I guess we mentioned that. Henrietta's Dr. Nobi's wife, and she's his daughter. But yeah. So she's about to kill Annie, and then Ash, comes up and does, the fucking like soundtrack's like da-da-da, da-da-da, and he does the fucking iconic like just I can't fucking whistle like that, but he fucking whistles, and Henrietta just turns and looks at him, and this is like gotta be one of the most badass scenes in cinema history. I fucking love it. It like hits every single just like note for me. I'm just like, oh yeah, I love this. But yeah, so he fucking fights with her a little bit, then Annie distracts her by singing the Mockingbird song that Eminem sings.
Yeah.
And so he ends up chopping her head off and chopping some of her limbs off, and then there's like the blood mist that I like. That's just like sounds like a balloon deflating.
Yeah.
And then she's down, her head's down on the ground. I'm gonna swallow your soul. Swallow this. Blows her head up. And then it turns out that Annie has only started reading the first of the passage. So there's two passages she has to read. One that'll like turn the evil into flesh. Which basically means all the evil will possess this tree, and the tree comes in, and it's like this eldritch horror thing. Like the flowers are dying behind Bruce as his hair starts to turn white, and he's like, "Don't look at it! Don't look at it! Just read the page. Summon that portal to suck it up." So she starts reading the second passage, but right as she's about to finish, Ash's hand comes back and stabs her with the dagger, which we haven't mentioned the dagger yet. It's in the first movie, and it's in this one. It gets a bit of a remake or a makeover in this one. It's not this exact same, but you can tell it's the same fucking thing. But yeah, so she slowly starts to die, but she finally reads out like the last couple words, and then the portal shows up and sucks all the evil, and Ash is like, "You did it, kid." And then it sucks him up too, and he died. I love the scene where he's like, clearly dodging stuff that's not like actually there with him, because he like dodges in a fucking like sink, like flies over his head.
But then he gets sucked in the portal.
Yep.
Wakes up in medieval times.
Yeah, just crashes down on the ground and
surrounded by knights who are like, "You must be a deadite." But then an actual flying deadite comes in, fucking shoots its head off.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hail! Hail to the deadite slayer!"
Yeah. Hail! And he's like, "No! No!"
Zooms out to show like a castle, and the movie ends.
Yeah.
And I think it's so funny that there's a third movie, and I just have never watched it before.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nope, I've always just ended it right there.
Yeah. So, what? Before we move on to Army of Darkness, what would you give this one?
I give this a 10. Like this, like it's in my top 50. We've talked about this. Like I love this movie. Every time I watch it, I have just as much fun, and I'm like laughing hysterically like throughout the whole thing. It's honestly like one of the funniest movies to me personally. Like for what it is and what it tries to be, I think it nails it all perfectly. So it's my jam. What would you give this movie?
Normally, I'd give it a 7, but because I like it so much, I'll give it an 8.
Wow. Yeah, I just have so much fun with it every time.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it.
Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness. So, what are your general thoughts on this one? Before we,
I loved it. Okay, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, I thought I was gonna feel about the same, like with a 7 as the first movie, but I was like the whole time like, this is incredible. Like I was having so much fun. I was laughing a lot, but I was also like amazed. It's because the stop motion is so prevalent in this one because of like all the fucking skeletons and stuff. And there's just, like so much stuff, and the fucking makeup in this, like these movies, just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah. I don't know if he was a part of the second one, but Greg Nicotero, I know, was at part of the third one. His company was.
Okay.
And he worked under like Tom Savini and did some stuff with like George A. Romero, and eventually went on to do The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about The Walking Dead. I knew he worked with Tom Savini and Romero, but
on Day of the Dead. But I think he came back for Land. I don't know. I don't know.
Land's a great movie.
A Land of the Dead.
Yeah, great movie.
Oh, okay.
Never seen it.
Yeah, it's
pretty bad.
I like it, but it's
no Diary of the Dead.
Yeah,
that's the good one. I would actually say that's Romero's best film.
Hey, have you seen Diary of the Dead?
Diary
of the Dead. There's a case to be made that it's better than Land of the Dead, but I don't think so. I personally enjoy Land of the Dead more.
Which one has Roderick?
That is Survival.
Did he also do that one?
George A. Romero? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was his last one.
Was it his best out of those 3?
Out of those 3, no.
Sad.
Yeah, it might be better than Diary. I only saw Survival once when it came out. I just picked up the Blu-rays for Diary and Survival though, so I might check those 2 out because those 2 are like in their own little rebooted George A. Romero verse. But Night, Dawn, Day, and Land all take place in the same timeline.
Gotcha.
Kind of. It's like a shifting timeline because like every film is made like some time apart, but it generally like it's like advances to the next stage of the zombie apocalypse, But
so Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness, yeah.
He shows up, same thing. It's a little different. He doesn't fight a Deadite right at the first part.
Yeah, they think he's one of Henry's men.
Yeah, that's between Arthur and Henry the Red.
Mm-hmm.
But they drag him with Henry and his men, and they throw him down into this pit where he fights a bunch of Deadites. But then Merlin, or the wise man, who's pretty much just Merlin, throws him his chainsaw arm, which has gotten detached, and then fights them and scares them, and they think he's the prophesized one. He goes on an adventure to get the Necronomicon so he can be sent back in time.
But he's given 3 magic words taken from the day the earth stood still. Klaatu, Verata, Nikto. But he can't remember the 3rd word, so he's like, nickel, necktie?
Or I know it's an N-word, and I'm like, don't say the N-word.
He's like, Verata, Klaatu, Verata.
And he's like, no. He's like, I said it.
Yeah.
So when he does eventually find the Necronomicon. Yo, the scene in which he opens the book and then the portal gets sucked in.
Yeah.
That scene's great.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I also like the scene where he's like trying to decide which book, and he's like, it's this book. And he's like, oh, wait. You almost got me. And he goes to open the other book. And he's like, wait, no, you almost got me. And he goes back to the first book. And he, like, the second his hand reaches for it, just jumps up and bites his fingers. God damn it! He's like, oh, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. And then he takes the book. And then he's like, yeah, I did it. And then because he didn't say the words correctly, a bunch of skeletons get up and start fucking with him. And one of my favorite little bits is when he's like down, like they pulled him down, and he's like, he just gets like fucking punched by like 8 different fucking fists, and he's like doing the Three Stooges thing where he's like, they're like pulling his tongue, and they're like trying to poke his eyes, and he does the thing where he's like, and they just fucking boop, like 2 different arms from different directions poke his eyes. And it's just like, god damn. And a fist ends up like just going deep into his throat, and he ends up like getting up and coughing it out and going about his merry way. Before he had gotten the books, there had been a sequence where he like retreated from the evil force into a windmill. Another mirror scene happens.
Oh.
Yeah, basically he sees a mirror and immediately.
This so much. Yeah. I had so much fun with this sequence.
Yeah, so he sees this little mirror, and you know, he's had enough shit with mirrors from the last 2 movies, so he's just like, fuck it, and instantly breaks it. He's like, I'm not dealing with this kind of crazy paranoia shit. And a bunch of his little reflections from the shattered pieces get up and come out of the mirror, and there's just a bunch of little tiny ashes. And they're like, let's kill this motherfucker. So they pick up a fork, and they're like, all right, ramming speed, and they just like fucking ram it into his ass. And then he gets up, he's like, oh, what the fuck? And they like end up like getting it, so he hits his head and lands on the fucking stove, and he has to like grab a spatula and peel it off. And then yeah, they end up like Gulliver's traveling him, where they just like fucking tie him down. And one of them like jumps into his stomach, and he drinks some boiling hot water. He's like, you want some hot cocoa?
And it's like in his stomach, like, and then he just like feels something in his shoulder, and he looks on it, and it's like a fucking eye, and he's like, it's growing, and he goes out, and then like there's like Bruce Campbell's, and
yeah, they end up splitting apart, and he's like, what are you? He's like, I'm you. Yeah, I'm you. You're the good Ash, and I'm the bad Ash. And he starts teasing him like, you goody little 2 shoes, goody little 2 shoes. And he's like punching him in the fucking face. And then Ash is like, good, bad. Shoots him in the face. I'm the guy with the gun. And then buries him. And yeah, the Ash's Deadite self is like, oh, you know, I'll be back. And he's like, fuck you. And then the whole sequence where he goes and grabs the books. But he goes back, and then Ash is, after he takes the book without saying the magic words,
he awakens, like, all of the dead and, like, a skeleton army. Mm-hmm. So then fucking the wise man's like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you fucking asshole. Well,
and he's like, oh, sorry.
Kept my end of the deal.
Send me back. And King Arthur's like, fine. And then everyone's like, wow, I can't believe we trusted that guy. Like, everyone says that. And he's like,
Yeah, so he's just like, fuck.
And the love interest in this movie
Gets stolen by a flying Deadite.
And he's like, fine, I'll do it. And they start like, oh, the Deadites are coming in 2 days. And they're like, oh, we must retreat. And he shows up and he's like, well, you guys can run away, but I'm tired of running.
Yeah.
And he's like, who's with me? And everyone's just like no one's saying anything until some baldy is like, I'll stand with ye.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. I want to find out the exact year this movie takes place, because he shows them how to make gunpowder.
He says is at the beginning of the movie in a monologue that it's sometime in the 1300s.
Okay. When is gunpowder? Right. I guess it's about on the mark. Gunpowder was invented in the 9th century China as one of the 4 great inventions spread throughout the parts of Eurasia by the end of the 13th century. So, yeah, I guess that kind of lines up roughly. For a comedy fantasy movie, sure, why not? Anyway, so he teaches them how to make gunpowder and how to fight. And he's like, we'll get Henry's men to fight with us, but they don't show up at first. So
then he makes a fucking tank.
Yeah, he transforms his car into a fucking...
It's a car, but with like a bulldozer front and then just like a helicopter blade.
Yeah. And so the Army of Darkness shows up, and they like show up and they're like playing bone flutes and like skull drums, which I thought was pretty funny. And yeah, so the battle begins. Ash shows up in the car and is like killing everybody at first, and it seems like, oh yeah, we're gonna protect the Necronomicon, because if the dead get their hand on the Necronomicon, they're gonna like end the world.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've made that apparent at this point or not. Yeah, so Ash ends up almost killing all of them, but then he sees Sheila, and he's like, I can't hit her, so he jumps out of the car.
She is in a Deadite form, but then she's like, no, I'm a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Look at me.
So he hops off and lets the car
explodes.
crash. Yeah. And then it turns out she's a Deadite. She tries killing him, and then she's like, you found me beautiful once. He's like, yeah, you're ugly.
You got real ugly fast.
And he kicks her over the fucking side of a wall. Oh, great message there. Anyway,
I agree.
So yeah, then he fights his Deadite counterpart and ends up like sending him away on a catapult with a bomb. And yeah, then the Army of Darkness retreats and he wins, saves the day. Gets some sugar from Sheila, who is now human again.
Put some sugar on me in the name of love.
I'm not a big... That's Def Leppard, right? I'm not a big Def Leppard.
It's the Beatles.
Oh, fuck. I feel like such an idiot. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so basically they
win.
Yeah, they win. And he goes back to his own time.
But he says the words wrong again.
Yeah. So
he's telling the story to Ted Raimi, who's like,
Yeah, they work at
S. Did you say the name right?
He's like, oh, well, I may not have gotten every tiny little syllable, but that guy basically said them, yeah.
And then a fucking Deadite shows up, and he's like, that's it.
Yeah,
he's like, they said I could stay, but I'm kind of a king here.
Yeah. And fucking, he's like, ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store. Who the hell are you?
Ash Williams. Then he pulls out a gun.
Hardware.
Oh, hardware.
Yeah. And then, yeah, fucking kills the
just
Deadite.
Unloads a gun into her, multiple times.
It's like, oh, man. And then, yeah, some lady who thought his king story was kind of cute, he pulls her over. He's like, give me some sugar, baby. And he makes
Hail to the king.
Yeah, baby. Hail to the king, baby. And yeah, that's the theatrical ending. And then there's an alternate ending.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
What?
I totally forgot.
Yeah, basically the alternate ending, it's short. It's basically just like we watch as he rides away from Sheila, and that's like
turn around or something.
No, that's where it like fades in the theatrical cut, but we keep going. Instead, he goes to this cave where they're setting it up with this car, and he's got like this magic like sleeping potion that they make for him, and basically he's like, all right, put 6 drops on your tongue, and just sleep in your car for a few thousand years. Or not a few thousand, it'd be a few hundred.
But he put 7 drops.
So basically they have to like blow up the cave to like seal it off to make sure like nothing fucks with him while he's like in a state of like sleeping beauty, sleep or whatever. And while he's like doing the count, he gets to 5, and then like he hears something. He's like, and not paying attention. And he goes back and does like, all right, 5, 6, making it so he does an extra one. So he sleeps too long, and when he wakes up, it's like an apocalyptic wasteland, and he's got a big beard. He's like, no, I slept too long. And yeah, that's the original ending.
They could just. What if, you know how they're doing another Evil Dead movie now? Have you not heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah, no, they're doing another one.
Like with
Sam Raimi's producing it again. It's not.
So it's going to be like related to the remake, or not with. So it's not going to be like an actual.
Bruce Campbell might be in it.
Well, to be fair, he was in the remake.
Shut up. No. But what if they're just surprised it's secretly that? It's just the continuation of that storyline.
I know that there had been talks about continuing that storyline. I know the director at one point of the remake was like, hey, Sam, maybe we could, kind of cross over the 2 universes. And Sam, no.
I know Sam, when he was talking about the new one, he wanted to possibly work with that guy again, but I don't know why they didn't or not.
I know he's produced more stuff for him, because he later went on to produce Don't Breathe, which I
also
same director.
Don't like that movie.
I thought it was fine when I saw it, but I only saw it once.
Yeah. But no, I loved this movie. I thought it was hysterical. I thought a lot of the action scenes were actually pretty fun, and like I love the grandiose nature of it, but it has that same kind of low budget feel.
I think it's one of the most quotable movies of all time. It's just got so many good one-liners in it. It's like,
this is my boomstick. Yeah. Oh, actually, no. When he says that, it's like, this is my boomstick, and he's like, everyone's freaking out. Like, oh.
You aren't leaving, but Jack and shit. And let me tell you, Jack just left town.
That was a good fucking line.
Shit like that. Huh? You want some? Huh? Just that one guy that he starts taunting at the beginning. Hey, your shoelaces are untied.
Yeah, King Arthur, he's like, he gets out of the pit. He's like, your shoelaces are untied. King Arthur's like looking at him. He's like trying not to, but he like looks down. That scene's so funny, especially when it's like, they don't have shoelaces. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like maybe one of the like just common people would have at that point. I don't know what their shoe wear was like back then. But a knight in armor, I don't think would have shoelaces.
There's also a scene later on where like a skeleton's like, "Hey, get that guy in the car," and I'm like, "How does this guy know what a car is?"
Yeah,
but I'm like, they're demon things, so whatever.
Maybe some of the evil sucked from the future.
Yeah, it didn't really matter. I mean, I just thought it was funny.
I love the one that, like, when he's about to, like, do that thing where he, like, does the pulley thing where he, like, shoots up and it's, like, the little, like, half skeleton just crawling over. I'm gonna cut your gullet. Yeah.
Yeah, I love all the skeletons in this and all the Deadites. They're so fun. Yeah. Like, it's weird because this movie, like, is tonally just completely different from, like, 2 in a lot of ways. Like, 2 still had horror moments.
Yeah, this one
was just a comedy. Well, even, it was like an action comedy.
Yeah, it's like I would say it's like a comedy, fantasy, action, and then, like, a drop of horror. There's, like, a drop. You can tell that, like, the horror is there, but it's not played seriously whatsoever.
But yeah, and like that scene of separation between him and the other Bruce was so good. Like as they were running around, there was like 2 heads first. Like I really this movie blew me away.
Yeah, no, I assumed you would love it. I was like, God, how has London not fucking watched this?
I'm just fucking stupid. I'm like, I'm gonna go watch Charles Band.
Yeah. Oh God, how many Charles Band movies did you watch before you got around to watching Army of Darkness? Too many.
But what would you give this movie?
I'd probably give this one the same as the second one. I would probably rate it typically as a 7, but I love it so much I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'm gonna give this movie a 9. I thought this movie. I loved this movie.
Oh yeah, like I'm always debating which one I like more between this one and Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 2. Because I love them both. They're both so good. I watched this one more as a kid because there's like a period of time where, because when I was like really young, I watched these movies at a fucking way too young of an age.
Yeah, I've heard what you watch way too many movies way too young.
Yeah.
That's why you're like this.
It is. But I remember when I was like fucking like 3 or 4, we had like all 3 of them on VHS, and I remember seeing the second one when I was a kid, and then we lost like the second one for a long time. Like I don't know what happened to it. Just the VHS like disappeared. So we had the first and the third one. So those were the 2 I had watched the most often, like growing up into like my like kind of preteen years. So they're the ones that like really retained to me. But like, I think when I was like 12, I finally got the second one on DVD and I watched the shit out of it. I was just like, I have some catching up to do. But yeah, no, I love this trilogy. They're fucking great. Yeah, and maybe at some point in the future we'll get around to covering the TV show on here.
Oh, yeah,
like
definitely.
one season at a time, maybe, or however we decide to go about it.
Definitely. Okay, so the next thing we're doing, are we doing a director deep dive?
I think that'll be after this.
Oh, correct. Okay.
Oh God, I'm scared. I don't like this so far. London's just laughing quietly to himself, trying not to make eye contact.
Uh-oh. So do you want like a remake situation, or you want a trilogy, or what do you want?
Oh man, since we just did a trilogy, let's go with the remake.
All right, let's go with Psycho and Psycho.
Oh, okay.
Alfred Hitchcock and Gus Van Sant.
Okay. I'm gonna watch the same movie twice, but one of them's gonna be less effective.
I haven't seen them. Maybe I might watch the remake first, because I've never seen them.
I mean, I think you would have...
like, I might enjoy the remake more if I do that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But what if I like the original less? Because
I think the original one...
I'll just watch them at the same time.
There you go. I think you would probably end up liking the original one more if I had to guess, just simply for its... some of its filmmaking.
Have you seen the remake before?
Yeah, I saw it when I was like 12.
Did you like it when you were 12?
No, I didn't. I did.
Okay.
I don't think...
Well, maybe you'll like it now.
Yeah. I don't like Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates. I'm sorry. I don't think it'll ever happen for me.
Well, would you prefer instead if we watched the original Psycho and then Dodgeball?
I mean...
We're not going to do that.
Yes.
All right, so we'll do that, and then I hope you're... I need to know for the next director deep dive, because I'm picking it. Do you want a very good director or a very bad director?
What's our streak been like? Have we done like a intentional bad director?
I don't think so. I think all our director deep dives have been like very good people. I feel like the lowest thing we've rated something with a director deep dive was you rated David Lynch's Inland Empire a 5 out of 10, but yeah, I mean, Spike Lee, you gave Bamboozled a 5, I think. Or no, you gave it a 6, so. Yeah, we've done fucking Ingmar Bergman, Akira Kurosawa, Agnes Varda, Lee Chang-dong, Steve McQueen, Mamoru Oshii, Paul Thomas Anderson, Spike Lee, and David Lynch. It's a pretty...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's go with a bad one, I guess.
All right. It's gonna be a bad one.
Oh, God. Please tell me the movies are at least short. They're like... Wait.
Now I thought of an even worse one. That has long...
Oh, no.
All right, well, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.